In Affinity Photo, there's a number of blend modes, and a really useful one is erase. You can see the effect of erase here. You cut through to the background. So let's just start completely fresh. So I've got this layer of chocolate layer in Affinity Photo. Well, now what I can do is I can just duplicate this layer. And I could, of course, use any other layer as well, but I'm just going to duplicate it. So just drag, hold down the Alt or Option key and drag to duplicate it. I'm just going to make it slightly smaller. And now when you go with this, you can see you've got a blend mode here in the layers, which you can find in the window menu and layers. And now you can go here to blends and you can go through, you can see you go through lots of them, all really good, but you go to the last one, erase, and it cuts through to the ultimate background, cuts right through the initial background here, and this, obviously you can't see it, but the background transparency. And you can remove, move this around, reposition it, all using the move tool. You can also continue to resize it. You can see obviously more or less and rotate it and so on. So it's a great way of cutting through to that transparency. But it's not much use because if I now just remove that, say duplicate it multiple times, and you can see now I've got 2 layers below, and I could have like 10 or 15. I've still got this top one here, and I just move that there. And again, I go up to the blend modes. I can go for erase. It cuts through all of the layers. All the layers will be cut through to that transparency at the background. Just here, the layer that you can't see, but the hidden layer in a sense. Well, what can you do about this? Well, you can group, which is very useful. So I'm going to move that and that because I'm not going to use that layer. I'm going to use a shape. Just going to use a shape. So I'm just going to go over here and here, this one, the star. So I'm just going to go with star. And you can do this with text. You could do a whole load of different things with all kinds of layers, as long as it's a layer. So it could be a brush stroke, could be anything like that. And create that. So I've got the star there. And of course I could make all kinds of different variations along the top. All these options are available. I can do exactly the same. So again, with this selected, go here and erase, and it cuts through to that background, that transparency. And I can move it around, reposition it, etc. But now if I introduce a second layer, let's just introduce a second layer. So right click and duplicate. It's exactly the same as the background at this point, but I'm going to resize this one. So I'm just going to resize it so you can now make it not too small, but let's a bit smaller. And now you can see it still cuts through. That star still cuts through all of the layers. But what you can do to get around that is simply select here, star and the background. Make certain those 2 layers, this one, the smaller one, and star are selected. Right click and then just go down here to group. And now you can see instead, it doesn't cut through all the way. It just cuts through to what we've got the background here. And now the background, maybe you could recolor it. So let's just go here, background. I'm just going to use layer, maybe use adjustment layer. Could use something like that. And I'm going to go with black and white. So it really stands out. So black and white there. And now close that. So I've got a black and white effect. You can see through there. And I could apply, of course, a filter or something else like that as well. But still, I can select this group. And now with this group selected, I can then move this around. You can see through to this black and white image and you can position it anywhere. Also, of course, you could hold down the Alt or Option key again and drag and duplicate that group. And you then got now this cut through star to that background, but it doesn't interfere with any other layer as long as it's within that group. So let's just undo that. And I've got just this group again. You can also manipulate the star as well. Simply select it in the layers. With that selected, you can then go along here and just change various things. Inner radius, maybe the outer circle as well, to create a variety of different designs. Also, the number of points. So you can create something like that. Again, it still uses that erase you can see there, but you can still see through. Well, you can extend it even further by using effects. So just go over here to effects. As long as you've got that star selected, that's the key thing. Go to effects. So effects there. And now in here, what you can do, you can go to bevel and emboss. So click here and change radius. And you can see you get this lovely pillow effect. Now this will not work for everything. So if you go and select, say, inner or outer, some see subtle differences, but there are some like emboss, you'll see that. But also if you go for, say, for 3D, that will have no effect. There's certain ones that will have no effect at all. Just want to point that out. But here, go with 3D, bevel and emboss, set here. And also you can go for outer shadow. So just drag the radius. Let's just push it to the max so you can see it a bit more clear. Here it is. Not particularly ideal. Let's just change that. You can see just change intensity to get that sort of shadow effect applied there as well. And close. And you can then, of course, with the move tool, you can move it around, reposition it. You can also, with this, duplicate it. Just go over here. You could right click and duplicate. They're all still within this group. It's still got arrays as well. So you can then move it around, reposition it. So you can repeat this multiple times. Or another option, hold down the Alt Option key and drag. And just drag that to create, again, this cut-through effect. Again, select the group, and you can resize, move this around, reposition it to get all kinds of cut-through arrays effects that way. But also what you can do is you can add maybe an additional shape. So with this group selected, what I can do, I can just go down here, and I'm just going to go with, say, the donut tool, one of the tools, and I can now add a donut. Well, straight away, there's a slight problem. It's added it above. Now, depending on what you're selecting at the time, it may be above or whatever. I'm perfectly happy with that because all I need to do is just go here. If it's outside the group, just simply just drag into the group. And you can see just by dragging it down there and place it within the group. Just drag it down, you can see that line that appeared. Well, it's now within the group, exactly the same as before. Just go here, the blends, and go with arrays. And you can see you get exactly the same thing. And again, do exactly the same. You can cut through, you can drag this out like this. You can resize it, reposition it, go that way as well. But you can see through to that background, that black and white background. And also, of course, you can duplicate that and apply other effects. Now, that is also another useful thing. You don't need to keep it as a shape. I mean, obviously, it's nice to keep it as a shape because it's then live. But if you want to apply a filter to it, there are a number of filters you can apply. But you can also, if you want to keep it live, you can always go to Layer, and you can use these live filter layers and blur. There's a few, but there's some, of course, missing. So that may be a better option. So Gaussian blur. So let's just select that. So Gaussian blur, and you will notice then the effect suddenly just disappeared for a brief second, but it's back again because you can see it's applied to that donut shape there, and you can see that will change it. And again, you've still got the cut through, it's still within the group, it's still got the arrays, so then you get that effect. But you can also, if you want, simply select one of these, maybe just go to Layer and Rasterize, so you can, let's turn that off, Rasterize. So sometimes when you do that, you end up losing the effect, or you see only part of it, doesn't get all transferred. And now do exactly the same with effects, Layer like this, or go to the filters and you've got a lot more. So you've got a lot of different filters there. Gaussian blur again, but you can also go with distort and deform, which you wouldn't be able to do if you were using the live option. There isn't a deform there, and you can then add some bins and then just drag and distort and create some interesting visual effects in this layer as well, and click apply. And that is the erase feature in Affinity Photo, PC or Mac. If you've got any questions, any thoughts, please let me know in the comments below. Always great to hear from you. Bye.